What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Lured Up, episode 28. My name is Ken Pescator, joined by my co-hosts Melissa Pescator and Adam Tuttle. What's up?
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey-oh, hi-oh. Today is Sunday, April 22nd, 2018. Earth Day.
Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day, Earth. Happy Earth Day.
We love you, Mother Earth. Thank you for all your fun things.
This episode is brought to you by patreon.com/gottawatchemall. We would appreciate it if you would take a moment to check it out. We have a pretty modest goal up there. We're trying to reach $100 a month. And if we do, we're going to start doing $25 gift card giveaways every single episode of the podcast.
Ooh.
Wow.
So let's make that happen. And then we can get you guys involved and give away some stuff you could use for Poke Coins.
And then you can go get stuffs. Who doesn't like to get stuffs?
Incubators.
Get some incubators.
It's all about incubators. Incubators and raid passes.
That sweet, sweet Stardust.
But yeah, check it out. Patreon.com/gottawatchemall. This is the stuff we're going to cover on today's show. Pokemon Go Earth Day cleanup event. I took part in one. My back is killing me. I want to talk about how to deal with the post-Pokemon Go event withdrawal. You know, like when all the events stop and there's no actual active event, it kind of makes you feel weird a little bit, like when that happens, because you've had such a, motivation to do something specific, whether it was, extra candy or extra Stardust. And then when there's no event, it's like, oh man, a game kind of feels a little bit lighter, a little bit different. So I want to talk about some stuff that you could do to spend your time in game outside of these events when you're not just out there grinding. So we'll go over some strategies and tactics for that. There was a fantastic article on GoHub we're going to talk about where they kind of reimagine what the end game of Pokemon Go could be by putting together this like gym challenge system. So we'll go in depth on that. Niantic had a big perma-ban wave that went out. So I was doing a little boogie oogie when I heard that. I love it. And I do want to follow up on the Brandon Tan conversation from last week. We had a lot of great interaction on social media, especially on Twitter. So I want to give a shout out to everyone that was involved in that conversation. But I do want to revisit that and cover a couple things. And it kind of leads to the next person in the Pokemon Go community that has some controversy attached to him who I want to discuss. And that's Jono Plays, who has become a bit of a champion of the spoofer community on YouTube. And I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it.
Oh no, the internet.
And then there's been a ton of miscellaneous news this week. We'll run through all that stuff before getting into a battle party. We're gonna take a departure from covering a battle party for a specific Pokemon, and we're gonna talk about featuring some Pokemon during weather conditions, and we're gonna talk about playing in the rain and how you can take advantage of bringing some Pokemon out. They're gonna benefit from that. But not only that, it's an opportunity for you to use a Pokemon that may not be able to hang under a normal circumstance, but with the 20% weather boost, it might have a little bit more relevance that you can actually, bust it out and use it. All right. Earth Day. 4/22, 2018. About 2 weeks ago, actually it was April 4th, Niantic puts a post on their blog saying, Pokemon Go is now partnering with Mission Blue. We're doing this Earth Day cleanup event, and it actually will have real-world, in-game implications if certain conditions are met. And this is how they broke it out. So if 1,500 players register at these sanctioned events, it would unlock double Stardust when catching ground, water, and grass-type Pokemon over a 48-hour period. And if 3,000 players were registered, it would unlock triple Stardust on ground, water, and grass-type Pokemon, again, over this 48-hour period. But here's the weird thing. They put a link to the map, and when you click on the map, there's only like a spattering of events in the entire world. There's kind of, maybe 2 or 3 in North America. There was some in Europe. There was very, very few and far between. And then there was a link. It said, if there's no event in your area, click here, submit it, and, we'll try to sanction some events. And they were pretty specific about how they were doing it, where you couldn't just say, hey, I'm just, Pokemon Trainer Joe here, and I want to, create an event, and I'm going to do it myself. What they did was they required you to be a non-governmental organization that was, had regulations, had their own kind of liability insurance to cover the events if they were going to be holding that. So that way there was a transfer of liability from Niantic and Mission Blue to the local NGO. So this announcement came out on the 4th. Earth Day is the 22nd. So they didn't give you much time at all to not only
Prepare.
plan for the event, but if you wanted to try to create one, you had 2 weeks pretty much, because they said by the 18th, all events that are submitted are going to be on the map, and whatever's not there it is what it is. So on the 4th, I contacted my local organization. I contacted the Surfrider Jersey Shore Foundation, right? And I got in touch with the person, and it really turned out that there just wasn't enough time to create an event from the ground up myself, working with this kind of organization, even though Surfrider was a sponsor. Surfrider Europe was a sponsor of this event. So it turned out that someone else in my Discord who runs an NGO that specializes in earth groundskeeping and cleanup events and things like that was doing one in my area. And I immediately connected with her on Discord, and she submitted everything per the protocol that Niantic put forward of how to get your event sanctioned, right? So over and over and over, we're just like waiting and waiting. And I even was trying to communicate with them on Twitter, and she was emailing, and we didn't even get a response. We didn't hear back at all. And it was a total bummer. So it was just like, I can only imagine they publicly put out this email address and online form to submit this stuff. There was probably 1 billion people that were just not following the rules and just kind of putting these forms through, that it probably caused such a backlog that real organizations couldn't even get through. And it was a total bummer, because I would say, we had a small group today. It was probably at one point there was probably 25 or 30 people involved, but it was 20 people that were there were from the Pokemon Go community. It was awesome. Everyone that was there were trainers, and it was bizarre because no one had their phone in their hand. And it was it was really funny. At the end, we took a photo. Nancy, who was running everything, she's saying, the only time you're going to see this group without, wires hanging out and phones in their hand. It was really funny. But it was a total bummer that we couldn't get through to Mission Blue and couldn't contribute to this 1,500 or 3,000 trainer goal of getting it done. So hopefully if they do something like this again, they'll give a little bit more leeway in time to kind of get prepared, because just seemed like it wasn't enough time to really bring this into fruition. It was a very small scale event, but
well, hopefully somebody at Niantic will see these pictures and see that they're tagged in them and be like, okay, wow, we actually had all these other people doing this. Okay, 3,000 trainers.
Yeah,
let's make it happen.
That doesn't seem like such a crazy number. And it was really cool what we did today. There was this, from the street, it looked like maybe a 1 acre, just block of trees. But from the Jersey Shore getting just battered from all these major storms that we've had over the past, 5 years, it was you couldn't walk from one side of it to the other. You couldn't take your dog for a walk. You couldn't even walk through this wooded area just because there was downed trees everywhere and just, brush. It was just a mess. So, like I said, we had about 30 of us, and over 3.5 hours, we cleared and formed out 500 feet worth of trails that made this uninhabitable block of wilderness into this completely usable area that you could literally walk from the street, follow a path that we carved out. We put guide rails and everything, and walk all the way down to a waterfront, which hasn't been accessible in almost 5 years. So it was super. It was I told Melissa, I was we got to go. It was 20 minutes from us, and from the street, it just looks like a couple trees. And then when you get past the tree line, it's oh my God, it just opens up, and there's marshland and all these islands and crazy birds and all this crazy wildlife. I was this is awesome. So, and my son Josh came today too. And, so kudos to him for putting in the work.
I was proud of both of you.
Good job.
It was good
today.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And, there was a raffle at the end that they gave out Pokemon toys, and Josh and I won.
Oh, that's great.
So it was totally cool. Everyone was hacker, spoofer, it's fixed. Cause Josh actually was pulling the tickets from the raffle thing. And so everyone was cracking up, but it was a lot of fun. And, if you guys, anyone listening, took part in an Earth Day event, tag us in the photos. We'd love to see it. I think this was a really cool initiative, and game's doing good. That's a good thing. Put a good little tarnish. Wipe that tarnish off, make it nice and shiny. Put a little shiny package on.
Squeaky clean.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And Adam went on a hike today. You were out in nature.
Yes, I mean
awesome.
we took the family out hiking and had a lot of fun. The only piece of garbage, if you will, was right at the beginning of the trail. It was a wrapped up really nicely dog poop bag. And I'm like, we're just going on the hike, so I was like, maybe
it's at
when
the beginning, that's the best part. Like,
I was like, maybe when I come back, if it's still there, maybe. But we happened to go on the opposite side of the trail coming out, so we didn't see it. But
you took that way out on purpose.
Yeah, you did.
No. We went to the geocache site thing again. So
nice. Maybe it was a biodegradable bag, and it'll fertilize
Hopefully.
the earth.
Well, and it's crazy because like the entire trail was like well groomed. It looked like somebody had been there.
Oh, cool.
Picking up trash earlier in the day because we went pretty late in the day.
Nice. Yeah, I'm whooped right now. Like my back is. I was moving like giant logs and stuff. It was hard work, but it was a lot of fun. I'm excited. to do good. Good karma
I
points.
hope they do more events like this. Especially if like the events lead to something in game.
Well, I think if they do that, that's going to be enough to incentivize players to get out there and do something, because you always have the opportunity to do something good, but you want that reward.
Of course.
You want
I want to reap the reward of all my hard work.
Exactly. All right. Let's talk about the game when there's no events. Now, we've been kind of whacked over the head like nonstop 1-2 punch for the past couple weeks, just with different events and different things spawning and community day in the mix and all this madness happening. And now there's nothing going on. Now we're just in our normal legendary raid cycle. We have Latios. It's, on the way out, and things seem to have died down a bit with, the fervor of players being out there and playing, because there's nothing really cooking on the event front.
Yeah. The only thing for me like that I'll add to your list is that I basically just shiny check, because there's nothing like for me to do.
See, but
I just shiny check.
See, but I would never be in a situation where I would like click on something that would be potentially shiny and then say, "Oh, it's not shiny," but then not still catch it. Like
I've never done this. I've never done this. It just started like right after the Kanto event ended.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. It kind of changes. You kind of gear your gameplay around these events. Based on what you need to do, whether it's field research or special research or looking for a specific type of Pokemon, or, just raiding a new boss or something like that. It really changes the dynamic. So I put together a list of things that you could do in your downtime, where if you're not out there and actually, grinding, but you're at home and have your phone on you and in front of you, there's some stuff that you can do to spend the time and still be engaged in the game but without actually being out there and grinding for something like Community Day. So inventory maintenance. As much as I hate this, I completely love it in this game. This is something Melissa I know hates.
Oh, God, I do with all my heart.
I love going through my box and just moving stuff around and renaming stuff. And like I have a naming convention for all my Pokemon where I kind of...
I can't even look at your box because it doesn't make any freaking sense to me.
Because I'll put
numbers.
Yeah, I'll put their
point.
IVs. I'll put their the overall percentage of of the Pokemon. I'll put its individual IVs, and I use a ADS, attack, defense, stamina format, and then I'll put abbreviations for the moves. So if I'm looking at my 100% Kyogre, it's going to say 100. It's going to say 15, 15, 15. And then it's going to say W for waterfall, and it's going to say HP for hydro pump.
Oh my God, exactly. So, just touch the guy.
No, I don't have to. That's what I'm saying.
The guy.
I don't have to do that, because from the screen I can know the quality of that Pokemon, where its strengths and weaknesses are, and what moves it has without having to click into it. Which is good, because I have some like shittier IV Pokemon, but they might have a perfect attack stat. So if I have a Machamp that's got, it could be an 81% Pokemon that has 15 attack and, 11 defense and 12 stamina, I might still bring that out because I just want that 15 attack stat. Like, I don't care about it taking damage or whatever. So I get all that information. So that stuff takes a shitload of time to go in and rename everything and all that. So when there's downtime in the game, this is a good opportunity to kind of apply some kind of naming convention. And believe me, if you're into IVs, if you're into building out battle parties and having an efficient team and really going that direction, you're going to be in the mix with renaming your Pokemon. So, like Adam, you use some kind of naming convention also, right?
So I used to just do like battle with the best of them is just B, and then attack, defense, whatever. I just use B, like best attack, best. That's what I used to use. Now I just say it's 100%, or I just do the percentage.
100% or nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's
And right now I'm just going off of like I really need to get into that naming convention where I have the moves, because it's so frustrating not knowing.
It's a game changer, especially if your party wipes in a raid and you need to get back in quick and you don't want to revive your old party. It's like, you type in MACH from Champ or something like that, and they all come up, and you want to make sure you get the right ones. Especially with the legendaries, because there's such a wide move spread on so many of these legendaries, you can end up picking the wrong one. And want a, Waterfall Hydro Pump Kyogre, and then you bring in your Waterfall Thunder Kyogre, you're not going to be able to take advantage of all the typing and all that stuff. So.
Exactly.
But that shit takes a lot of time.
But wouldn't you know which one is which just by looking at their CP?
No.
By using them enough times?
No.
See,
well, sometimes they have the same CP.
Why not?
Yeah, they could be the same or similar CPs.
Well, you know what? If you
I'm just saying it's on
didn't
the
have
fly.
so many, if you didn't hoard so many Pokemon, maybe
I don't. I literally have like 3 of every legendary.
So
I try to minimize.
This kind of goes into inventory maintenance here too. So
I don't even have the max amount of
space.
Like, yeah, I could still buy space.
I run a 15 slot box. And when I'm I call it my fighting weight. Like if I were to transfer every single Pokemon that I don't want to keep or I don't need, I'm probably around 900 Pokemon. Maybe 1,000. So
right?
Where I'm just those are my keepers. Because I have I don't know 8 Tyrannitars that I keep,
and I have just like 100 Delibird.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like honestly, I probably have like 100 Pikachus because of all the stupid hats and everything. But,
yes, and you can't mass transfer them, so it's just like.
But it's all part of this maintenance and how you're going to manage your space, and that stuff takes a lot of time. And this is a good time to do it. When there's no real reason to be out there grinding, you're not missing out on any kind of buff or bonus to gameplay. It's a good time to do all that stuff. Checking IVs, not non-overlay. Checking IVs, which, sucks for a lot of Android players that are so used to Pokegenie,
I don't even know what my guys are.
And
anymore.
from looking around on Reddit, it seems that when that shadow ban wave went out about the IV checkers, it was really calcy IV. So even players that were using overlay Pokegenie were not getting it. And it was the calcy IV really that took the brunt of that wave of shadow bans like a week or 2 ago. But finally, planning mass evolutions. That this is where the math comes in. If you have 120 Pidgecandy, you're going to be able to do 10 Pidgey evolutions. So using that kind of logic of managing how many you should keep versus how many you should transfer, you'll know. And then when it's time to do your mass evolutions, you're only evolving everything you have. And then when you're done with that Pokemon, you can move right on to the next one. You're not leaving any candy on the table or any Pokemon on the table. So kind of doing the math like that is a little tedious, but if you were trying to maximize and get, upwards of 70 Pokemon evolved in a 30-minute window during a lucky egg window, you kind of have to be prepared for it. I love mass evolutions so much.
I haven't done one.
I love it so much. I'm like, it's so funny. Like you hit level 40 and, I slow down a little bit and it's like now I'm just grinding even harder and trying to still push with the XP because I'm trying to, get set up with the perfect league and everything. And it's like, I'm only at 23.5 million experience. So it's like, you got to get to level 40 times 2 to even like be considered. So it's like I'm 17 million away still from all that.
Wow.
That's like Terry Wolf, double level 40, triple level 40. It's like,
well, you know what? I just hit level 35 and I'm happy as hell. So
yeah, no, that's awesome. I think didn't it happen during a raid or something like that?
Actually, I think it happened during the Mareep event.
Did it? No, it was before that.
No.
I don't know. All right, more stuff to do when there's no events. Building battle parties.
Whoop, whoop.
We've covered a lot of different battle parties here. I'm probably going to do a stream soon where I put some of these together in a video. But again, in your downtime, now that you're home, now that you're not out there grinding because you don't want to miss double Stardust, build out some battle parties. Build some for the relevant, legendary that's in the rotation. Build some for some level 4s, and then, maybe you have a level 3 that's challenging. Level 1 and 2 raids you don't really have to worry about, but 3, 4, and 5 tier raids, build out some battle parties so you can do these things on the fly. Work the gym system. Check your gym progress, your gym badge progress. There's a lot of gyms in my area that I still don't have a gold, gym badge in. And now is a good time to kind of work that because, one, there's going to be a lot of field researches that are associated with battling in gyms. And two, this is your home turf. You kind of got to protect your own, protect your ground. How many gold badges do you have, Adam?
Oh, man. Power of editing. Hang on 2 seconds.
Beep, boop, bop, boop, beep, beep. I have... So if you go to your gym badges, click on list and then sort by points is the easiest way to... So click list.
Where the fuck is list?
List, and then sort by points.
Oh, Lord.
And then it will show, at the top, it would have your gold. So you don't have
0.
any gold. Damn, son, you got 0 golds.
Right, bro.
Get your weight up. I got 9, 10, 12, 13, 14. I only got 14.
I have 10 gold gems.
Oh, see? So that's hardcore. So I have like a whole bunch of silver that are like on the cusp.
Yeah, I've got about 4 that are ready to pop to be gold.
And that's just from battling there?
That's from battling, that's from raiding, and that's from having Pokemon defending. Time defended. So
okay.
So like but I think we covered it last week or the week before. There was a formula to how much, gym XP you need to acquire to reach gold and how much time your Pokemon would have to be defending. And raiding is really the best because you get 1,000 gym points per raid. So raiding is really the best way to boost your gym badge level. Back to our withdrawal symptoms here. Raiding. Duh. If you don't have an event, just get out there and raid. Get yourself some good legendaries. And this is a big one, and this is something that I'm experiencing here this week. Community building. Use the downtime to plan for the next community day. If there's no event that's going on, something's going to be happening come the next community day. Get organized. Put a plan together so that way when the event does hit, you're really going to go for it. So my group this time, I'm so freaking fired up over this. We're renting a 12-person
party bus.
And
party bus.
We're going to, no, it's not even a bus. It's just like a transit van or something like that, but it's a 12-seater.
I'm making it a party bus.
Okay. I just want a disco ball in it. But
Melissa's got the snacks.
Yeah, bring the snacks, please. Carrots and hummus, please. And we're gonna do a waffle session from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Then we're going to be in Red Bank and we're going to grind either on foot or driving half the time in Red Bank for Community Day, Charmander Community Day. And then we're going to close the day out with, an hour or two of raids till they expire. So it's going to be a long ass day.
Oh, God, yeah.
But it's going to be freaking awesome in the van. It's going to be nuts. That van is going to stink like shit.
I swear to God, I was just thinking this.
It's going to smell like Comic-Con. It's going to smell like Comic-Con inside. Oh, it's going to be so awesome. But look, these are all things you can kind of do in this downtime. Manage the game from your bedroom. Where you're laying in bed, ready to pass out. You could do all this inventory maintenance. You could build these battle parties. If you're out and about, work the gym system, work some raids, do this stuff. And then most of all, build some rapport with your community, get something going and plan for the time there is going to be an event. And I think the community day format is probably the best thing ever when it comes to being able to organize a group. And, if you're in a rural area, and this is like a hot topic right now on the internet, it's a lot easier to say, hey, this is going to be the time that we need to get together. Where instead of everyone trying to kind of figure out when and where, it's a little bit more defined because you have a 3-hour window. But I don't know, Adam, what do you think? Do you enjoy the inventory maintenance and the operational logistical side of keeping your game in order?
But it's like I love certain Pokemon so much that it's like, I have so many that like mean something. So it's like I don't know. I struggle to get a good amount of Pokemon to be able to transfer to like actually maintenance my box.
It's tough.
It's pretty much, like, what did I catch today? Oh, I starred like 3 things, delete all the others, but it's like every day I'm just gaining more and more and more. Like, I need to delete something.
Well, it's also a good indication of when it's like you got to evolve. Like Melissa will have 2 Weedles, right? And then I'll click on one of the 2 Weedles, and she's like, got 1,200 candy. I'm like, what are you freaking crazy? Like, that's what you should be, evolve it first, damn it. Like, if you're
evolution,
but like, if you're gonna transfer it, you might as well just evolve it first.
No, it's way faster to just transfer it and get rid of it.
So she has so much candy.
I've decided, like, the way that I'm going to maintain my shit from now on.
Just delete everything?
Is, no. Well, now that I can't use the IV checker, I'm just checking the shit right then and there. And if it doesn't immediately say it's a wonder, it gets deleted.
Well, yeah. I typically won't ever keep anything under 80%.
And that way, I'm not going to add anything new unless it's worth it.
Well, you'll know if you're keeping it that there was a reason that you kept it.
So,
especially with renaming.
See, but I've always said that too, and I try. I'll say, "Oh yeah, I'll just check the IV as I catch it," and I never end up doing that.
Well, I've been doing that since they decided to fuck me on the
on the IV checker.
Make it goddamn impossible. Like, you don't understand. That made me so happy to be able to just click that little button and see what percentage it was, and I was just like, all right, cool. Now I know that I could bring this one into like a raid or whatever. But now that I gotta fucking look at the words and try and figure that shit out by myself, I don't want to do it.
Well, no, that's the argument. They need to just give us the IVs, damn it. Like, why do they? I don't know why they hold it back.
Yeah. Just give it to us.
Don't set me off, Don't make me go all internet. All right.
No, Melissa's the internet.
Let's talk about this article on Pokemon Go Hub. I really, really, really thought this was a fantastic idea. And it was, the user's name is Venustoys. So this article is about an idea where there's a gym challenge system for experienced players. He said it would actually kick in at level 35, where in addition to having EX passes, you would ultimately receive invites from gym leaders that you can cash in at a specific gym and have a gym battle, which is awesome.
I like that. That's a good idea. So you would have like a different rare Pokemon that you could potentially catch?
Well, what he said was like, it would start where, you know how like they have the bronze, silver, gold for each typing, where you have to catch, 200? You bump that up to 500 of each type. And if you catch 500 Pokemon, then you open up your game and you get this invite. And he puts this nice little letter here. So it would say like, hey, my name is Brock. I'm a gym leader of Pewter City in the Kanto region. I'm currently on a journey and I have heard of your exploits in the rock Pokemon. My gym in Pewter City specializes in rock-type Pokemon, and I would be honored to battle you at the gym of your choice. So you get this invite from a gym leader.
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
Absolutely,
wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And then it would be like a pass where it would sit in your inventory. You would go to a gym, and then you would be able to use it like a gym pass, like a raid pass. And wherever that, it would say that the trainer would then, the gym leader would travel to that gym, and for 3 hours you can then battle the gym leader. And it would be like a 6-on-6 battle where if you defeat them, you get like the Boulder Badge from Brock. And then ultimately you can have a whole system of leveling up that Boulder Badge by beating the gym leader multiple times. So it's just another level of...
I like that. That's
so
fun
awesome.
Because that gives me a reason to do gym stuff.
But like the fact that it could have a tie-in to the canon of Pokemon lore with, using the real gym leaders and, the way they look from the real games or the anime. Like, it's just an opportunity to cross over and make it a little bit more, have that kind of...
Another cool thing would be if you were able to catch the gym leaders' Pokemon. Like, like whatever their...
That's mean.
No, but...
What, I mean, like, would steal Brock's Geodude?
You don't steal his Geodude, but you would have an opportunity
to catch
one that is like his.
Okay.
Or,
that would be cool.
You would
their
get
signature Pokemon.
Yeah,
you can have an encounter, like, with their signature Pokemon. That might be cool.
Yeah.
See, I like this idea, and I think this is moving the conversation in the right direction of what could happen in this game down the road. And I think that, the end game... the majority of players are starting to get up there in levels. It's not like a year ago where if you were level 40, it was like, holy shit. It's like there's a lot of level 40 players out there now. So the mass of XP level is kind of, the average has swung upward. So I would imagine they're going to have to come up with some end game content that's just beyond raiding, because there's going to have to do something to keep these high level players engaged. And something like this, man, I don't know. This is exciting. This was just a fantastic idea. And I mean, he really went in depth of, how you can have these battles line up and make them relevant and make them fair. And he even says you can bring the Elite Four into the mix. Like, you beat all the trainers, you beat all the gym leaders, you get one gym, a gym badge of each type, and then you could go against the Elite Four, or then maybe Giovanni. You know what I mean? Like, you could,
there's cool lots of potential out there.
Cool idea. I really like it. I'm going to put the link in the description. Check out the article. Let us know if you'd be interested in something like this. I would imagine that any kind of endgame content like this would be just really awesome. All right, I want to follow up on our Brandon Tan conversation from last week. We had, Melissa went flying off the rails.
No, I didn't.
You went freaking. You were so far off the rails. I had to literally gag.
We had to take the plug out of the internet.
You
dude,
did
it
not
was.
have to
I
pull the
cut
plug
the Cat 5
very
cable.
Dramatic.
No, it was hilarious. I swear, when I was listening to it back, and even during editing, I was pissing my pants because I was you were off the freaking rails. It was so funny. I was just cracking up, and she was so charged up. But we were talking about Brandon Tan offering his services for pay, for money, and how it kind of tarnishes the his kind of real nice guy persona of being the patriarch of his community, whatever. But we had some great conversations online about the whole situation, and the majority of people were either completely shocked, like they weren't aware of this, they knew of Brandon Tan but didn't know he was involved in this kind of thing, or they were like, yeah, this guy's been doing this for a long time, they should ban his account. So we had some really good conversation, but there was one tweet in particular from Animated Enthusiast. So shout out to you. And this is what it says. It says, this is in response to someone saying that they should delete his account. It says, that's a difficult thing to do, considering it isn't his account that's breaking any rules. It'd be the accounts of the people buying the Pokemon. They'd be giving him access to their accounts, meaning they risk getting banned. And I was just like, it was like an oh shit aha moment.
Yeah.
I said, oh my God. You're right.
Which makes it even more shady.
He's not playing
shady fucker.
He's not playing. Calm down, down, girl.
Sorry.
I got the whip. The chair. I'm holding a chair. I'm in a whip. No,
Shady.
but because it's not his account that's ever involved in this practice. He's always logged in as someone else. So that was an interesting point, and I didn't even think of that angle, because could they go after his account even though his account isn't the one doing this? So weird.
I just pictured Dr. Evil in my head right now.
Yeah.
The finger to the lip. I can't.
Rip Mini-Me.
It angers me.
Rip Vern
I
Troyer.
know.
This was a great point. So, Animated Enthusiast, great job bringing this to my attention, because I would have never thought of this. And it's just...
It is a really good point.
But the conversation was really good online, so thank you for taking part in that. I messaged Brandon Tan a couple times, and I said, hey, man, come on the show, and let's talk about this, because...
Without me.
There's a lot... without Melissa. Because there's a lot of people talking here, and a lot of people, are up and down. He was copied on all the interactions I had with you guys, so, I'm not trying to hide anything or duck out if he's involved in the conversation. I'm trying to bring him into the conversation and say... Gotta address this, man.
He's scared.
I don't know if he's scared. He's probably not even looking. I'm just saying. But this brings me to my next person I want to talk about now.
No.
And now this is Jono Plays. And Jono Plays is someone who's been making Pokemon Go content on YouTube for a long time. I remember when I first started watching content online, I watched some of his videos. I really wasn't into it. He did the car video, the kind of Ben Tim style, where he would just film himself in the car playing. And I don't know when or how or why or where, but at some point he crossed over from being a legitimate player to being a full-blown spoofer, promoting the spoofing community, doing how-to spoof videos, how to, what you can do when you're banned, how to get unbanned, this, that, all this crazy stuff. And he fuels this kind of fireball of anger and hatred and vitriol that's on Twitter of the spoofing community, who's kind of I don't know, man. It's like the war between the YouTubers and the spoofing community. And it's like, I'm just sitting back with popcorn, just kind of like watching the whole thing go down. It's really funny.
That GIF you sent with the guy eating the popcorn, like, that's all I'm picturing.
I don't know how many times that got retweeted. It was so funny, but you know, he was going back and forth with Mystic 7, and they're like, you know, people are making threats. Reversal, someone from the spoofing community said to Reversal, like, you know, don't come in my neighborhood. If I see you, I'm going to stab you. Like, he was getting like real
I
threats.
thought that was to Mystic. I thought that was to Mystic 7.
No, that was to the threat was to Reversal, and then the Mystic 7 was like, it was just someone that said like, you better not come to my neighborhood.
Yeah, right. Like that. And you know what I would have said? Yeah, okay, I'll be there in a little while, you spoofer, because you ain't gonna leave your fucking house, bitch.
He's gonna spoof to fight you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take over your local gym.
I dropped a pin where you are, man. But so this guy Jono, right now, this is I want to have a similar conversation like Brandon Tan. I want to talk about how you could be, look, legit player or not, you can have, when you have someone online who blatantly breaks the terms of service by spoofing and is very overt about it, and you watch his videos, and in real time he's pulling up the map, you know, the fake GPS app, and picking a spot around the world and just dropping himself, the game reloads, and poof, he's right there. Like, I showed Melissa the video today, she was like, this is spoofing, holy shit, like, this is how easy it is. And there's certain people in the world that when I see them, I have like a chemical reaction where my eyelid starts twitching, right? And my neck gets all crinked up, and I don't know what it is, but now when I watch these videos, these pro spoofing videos, I have a chemical reaction, and I really want to become full blown Melissa internet mode. Just like, I just wish I could be not politically correct, and I want to catfish an account just so I can yell at this guy and scream and put him on blast. But
I don't understand how he can't be banned.
That's the thing. They don't, and he's not even the worst of them all. Like, Adam knows, you know about FSU. Like, this guy's been around forever too, and he's like the king of it all.
I happen to be, I don't know, I forget whose video I was watching, but it popped up right after, and I was like, you know what, I'll watch this. I'm borderline intrigued, you know, just because we're on this Brandon Tan thing. And so I sat down, I watched the whole thing, and he's like, oh, just in case you guys are new to the channel, here's how to spoof. And I'm like,
it's crazy. It's crazy. Every video, how to do it.
I'm just like, is that that's not okay.
So the problem, now this is where the problem gets worse for me. We know spoofing is bad, and this is not a taboo bullshit word or whatever, but we know it's wrong, right? The position that the spoofers take, first they'll say it's a rural thing, and I can't get to gyms, so I have to spoof the gyms. It's like, you know what? Play a different game. The argument that Jono makes is he tries to have this position like he's freaking Robin Hood. I'm empowering the players of the Pokemon Go community to experience the game like they want to, and like he rides this high horse. No. And it's like, that's what makes me so angry. I'm like, all right, it's one thing to just be like some asshole on the internet making videos on, which is clearly YouTube has the ability. Like, if Niantic approached YouTube and said, this person is promoting game-breaking stuff, they could get these channels pulled. So it's interesting that they don't. They keep them open as a research channel or something like that. I
don't understand why they don't just ban his account.
But
just ban his account.
It's the fact that he thinks he's doing nothing wrong.
Do you think Niantic's even like because they clearly watch all the YouTubers?
They have to.
This is the only reason why I could possibly think that they would not ban his account is because he's got so many people watching him, and that just shows them that there's more people playing, right, I kind of have this weird feeling about this. Like, I for some reason, the whole time we're talking about this, I'm thinking about being a kid back in the day with my NES and Game Genie. You know what I'm saying? Like, when...
For the record, I never used any of that cheating bullshit, you fucking cheater.
You lying mother effer.
I've
because
never
I
used
remember,
that.
I've been with you since we were 15. I remember for a fact, with my brother, yes.
Never.
Yes,
I never used it.
Was it a thing called a Pelican? I had one of those. You plug the game inside of that, upside down. I had one of those. I was like, let me get, 99 rare candies. Let me get a Mew. Let me have 6 Mews.
No, it's, there was the Game Shark things, the Game Genie.
The Game Shark, yeah, exactly.
I never used any of that shit. I swear to you, I never used any of that. But
I'm sure that there's a lot of little kids out there that are watching his channel and doing it just because they want to know how to do it.
That's the thing. You look at the comments, right? You look at the comments, and they're all bullshit. You can tell that the bulk of his fans are kids, and just by the way they write. And I get that, but it still doesn't make it right. It still doesn't make it, it pisses me off. So, bouncing off the idea of spoofing being completely promoted on YouTube, Niantic hands out a wave of perma-bans going specifically after spoofers, which is freaking music to my ears and fantastic. So, if you were affected by this perma-ban because you spoof, you deserved it, you jerk.
Yep. To you.
No, but honestly, I don't, with the shadow bans, there was definitely people that were getting them that didn't deserve it. Weren't using calculators, weren't using overlays, weren't using any, shady third-party stuff at all, and they still got shadow banned. From what I've heard, no one has been perma-banned that shouldn't have been. And it's not like you have all these people crying out, online saying, I need to appeal this because I'm not spoofing. It's like the people that got banned are like, shit, yeah, I spoof, So it's just interesting that this happens now in the game. And could this all be wrapped around the research system and Mew and them trying to protect Mew as an asset of the game and not letting people just spoof around? And because, like you said last week, Adam, the first Mew that was caught by a spoofer, and they put it online.
Yeah, and it's like it legitimately took me a week to find a Ditto.
Yeah, dude, you got the Ditto
what I mean?
bad.
Like, and that's part of making that special quest system last longer. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, if somebody really wants it, they're gonna be out grinding like all day.
Well, it took Prodigy's Nation 17 hours to do the whole thing, but he got his Ditto on the 5th one he tried.
Yeah, but it's one of the, like I said, he, whatever, he was grinding, I wasn't necessarily grinding. I was at work. I may have gone out for an hour or two trying to find one, but
still, you played consistently for a week though. That's a lot of work for an in-game reward. That's a significant commitment that a game developer is going to be asking of its user base to do. So that, kudos to them for building that engagement. And that's, that's the difference where a player that's going to be not engaged is not going to be able to achieve this. And that's the line in the sand, between a fully engaged core daily player and those that are going to check in once a week. It's going to take, the game player that is still going to be on Niantic's monthly active user list and checks into the game maybe 2 or 3 times a month, it might take them 6 months or a year to get Mew. You know what I mean? Like,
but for them, that's okay.
That's what I mean. I know that's how it can address both types of players. I think that's why it's really cool. But I'm glad the perma-ban went out, and yeah, man, they got to do something to really address this issue. And it's funny because on YouTube it's become taboo just because it's so over the just beat the dead horse of, beating the drum of anti-spoofer, pro-spoofer, anti-spoofer, pro. It's just nonstop barrage of bullshit. It sucks, and, it's just terrible that. And
it's like all the negative, like, attention is still attention.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it's
like we're giving it attention right now. You know what I mean?
And Reversal flew off the chains last week, because first after getting, physically threatened to be stabbed and stuff, he calls out Jono and says, like, this is the spoofing community. This is what you've created. These are the fans that, thank you and call you out and tag you in these posts that are, threatening me, meaning Reversal. And it's like, I'm just good on it. I just wish they would all go away. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, we don't need you. And especially after like something like Earth Day. You know what I mean? Where you see the best of the community and then you go online and it's like, oh shit, yeah, not everyone has a good head, not everyone's got a good heart.
And honestly, like, I saw some people just that immediately posted like, oh, what are we going to get in the game? Like, for Earth Day, it's like, if you click the link and actually like wanted to read it, you could find out.
That's the young kid mentality of just,
give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me.
Veruca Salt. All right, there's a shit ton of quick little tidbits of miscellaneous news I want to cover before we get into our rainy day battle party. 0.99.2 is now a forced update. We went through the data mine last week. Whenever they force an update, that's always good. It levels the playing field with the gamer base, and typically will prepare them to more easily have server-side updates roll out where, everyone is going to be, on the same playing field. Earth Day avatar shirt is available and it's free.
It's awesome.
It's Lapras with a Pikachu riding on its head and a couple of Wingulls in the background.
I'm rocking it right now.
I'm rocking it too.
It prompted me.
Do you have the Magikarp hat on too?
I do have the Magikarp hat on.
I do not. I have I don't know who's this from.
So
hold on.
If you listeners remember from a couple episodes ago, I was the guy who dropped the 800 whatever coins to buy the whole Team Rocket get up, and it took me a while to come to a place where I could say, all right, I'm going to put this free shirt on and have to change my entire outfit again, even though I'm going to have now in my inventory, but not even being used, an 800 coin outfit. But I might end up going back to Team Rocket. But yeah, I am rocking the Earth Day today. I had to represent. Game Freak has registered a new trademark in Japan for a type of Pokemon called Ultra Shiny. What does this mean? What does this mean? I don't know. May not be directly related to Pokemon Go. We probably won't see it for 6 generations, but it's an interesting Pokemon news.
Oh, that's really cool. Have like an alternate shiny for him.
Dude, my thing is my bet. This is going to have something to do with the release of Pokemon on Switch and Generation 8, and there's going to be a new type of Pokemon that's going to be replacing Megas, replacing Z moves, something
Ultra Shinies.
Ultra Shinies.
Oh my God! What if they glisten and they have like rainbow effect to it?
Yeah, make it like a rainbow rare card.
Make it like a rainbow rare where they like glisten and they like morph in color. Oh my God.
But, you figure how rare a shiny Pokemon is, and they just add a whole nother prefix of rarity to it. The Ultra prefix. It's like, maybe they'll have like a 1 in 16,000 rarity.
Oh my God.
But that's exciting news. Oh, this is a good one, especially for rural players. So when Operation Portal Recon opened up in Ingress, this was the community vetting of portals that would ultimately transfer to Pokestops. So players in Ingress can say, hey, here's a landmark. Here's, the moose at the end of, the carved out moose at the end of Adams Street. They can say, I want to make this into an Ingress portal. And then other Ingress players would then vote on that portal and say, yes, it's there. Yes, the GPS is correct. Yes, it is a landmark. Let's turn it into a portal. And then once it hit portal status, that would come over to the mapping of Pokemon Go as a new Pokestop. So there was like a backlog of thousands and thousands and thousands of these portals that had the requirements to be vetted and had the requirements to say, yes, this is going to be a portal, or no, it's not. But they were just hanging in what they were calling a limbo. And all of a sudden, this backlog of portals is starting to go away. And portals that were in this limbo for over 100 days are now being processed. So what this means for us is we could be expecting some new Pokestops to show up in the game, new Pokestops and gyms even to show up in the game soon. So keep your eyes out for that. That's always exciting stuff. Pikachu outbreak in Japan. Sorry, Adam. It's not including a Pokemon Go element this year.
Womp, 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 womp.
So the people from Yokohama said that it brought so many tourists last year that it was overwhelming and they could not handle the level of traffic control or cleanup for the level of tourism. So the mayor had to say, we just can't handle Pokemon Go. That's how big Pokemon Go is.
That's so awesome. I mean,
no, the game's dead though.
Awesome.
You guys still play that? People still play that? But Pikachu Outbreak is still going to go on. I just love watching any Pikachu Outbreak videos because I love seeing dancing Pokemon, giant Pikachus.
Did you see the
disco one?
No, did you see the giant Slowpoke?
The slow, yes, I did see that one.
Oh my God, it was so stinking cute.
But no Pokemon Go in Yokohama this year, so Adam was going to go. Let's just say Adam was booked. He had to cancel.
He did.
He had to cancel.
Oh.
EX Raid Passes went out again this week for April 29th and April 30th. My whole family got one.
Yay!
So I got one, Melissa got one, Josh got one. Again, we have been working the shit out of the EX raid system.
That shit works, yo.
And it's working because we're triggering these EX raids, and everyone in my group is getting the passes, which is awesome. And it's funny because we have now 2 prominent gyms, one in the park and one in Sprint, that are both in the same S2 cell. So it can only trigger one of those gyms is only going to be triggered when an EX cycle goes out. So what the group is doing now is saying, let's focus on Sprint again and see if we can get Sprint to push. Again, just trying to make sense of the EX system, because I think they pretty much got it down to a science now as far as consistency of who's getting the passes and how to get them. So we're going to try to really manipulate the system and push the trigger back over to Sprint and see if our gameplay would really have a direct influence on how these passes are triggered and delivered.
And it'll be interesting because if we can get it to trigger at the Sprint, we should try to pump up a different park location and then see if we can get that to trigger.
Yeah. I mean,
that'd be sweet.
That's the fun of having a big ass group like we have, because we have this kind of penetration and coverage of the area where we could say, all right, this is going to be the focus, put it in Discord. And, that's just risky though. It's like, where else is there going to be, where else could be a gym? It's just activity. You just have to, it could be a sponsored location. It could be a park location. You just have to have that crazy amount of activity to trigger it.
You know what's funny is I totally forgot that I had an EX raid today. No,
what?
I didn't forget about it.
Oh.
I didn't forget about it. I just forgot to talk about it.
Oh my god,
dude! I was about to say,
oh my god,
I was like, tell me you missed it.
Mine and Ken's face just dropped, dude.
No. So Charlie had gotten one on her account as well. So we both went to the EX raid and we were able to get in. And honestly, I haven't seen her face light up playing this game in forever. And she was like, "All right, you need to catch it because I can't."
She was too nervous.
She threw 5 balls and was like, she's like, "I'm not going to catch it. I'm not going to catch it." And
man.
it was the cutest thing in the world.
That's how Josh was last time. I totally get it.
And she's like, just catch it. And I threw the first ball. Literally was an excellent throw and it popped right out. I'm like, are you kidding me? Golden Raz, the works. And she's playing on a giant tablet, an Android tablet. And I don't know, I can throw amazingly on that thing. It gets down to 2 balls left, and I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, hold on, I'm gonna catch mine real quick, and I get down to the last 2 balls, and on the second to last ball, I caught mine.
Oh man.
And then on the second to last ball, I caught hers.
Oh,
it was
I
caught mine, and I was like, oh, good, I caught it. And she's like, you caught mine? And I was like,
not yet.
And then I caught her, and then it was I did a Nana berry, and so it wouldn't move, and I got an excellent throw, and
thank God.
We both caught him. She's like, yes!
That's
I was so
awesome.
excited.
That's awesome. But I'll put a link in the description. Take the GoHub survey. They're still just trying to collect the Poke Science on figuring out how all this stuff works. It takes 2 seconds to fill out the survey. Make sure you check that out. Finally, we talked about this last week. Extending raid hours. I think, it was our listener, Jersey J, who had said, look, we need to put together some kind of campaign. Jay is a player that goes out super early, stays out later. He is in a situation where the raids run at, he's battling the clock. So why don't we try a campaign similar to the way we did Fix Go Plus to try to extend our raid hours? And I did get some feedback from people on Twitter saying, yeah, absolutely. I would definitely benefit from earlier raids, or I would definitely benefit from later raids. So I think the hashtag we're going to go with is what Melissa recommended last week. Hashtag raid 529. 5TO number 9. Number 5, TO number 9. I'll put it in the description. Let's start tweeting this out. Let's start sharing some tweets. Get people involved here and say, let's try to extend this raid time. I think the earlier raids would have a big impact on players because for, worker bees like me, the opportunity, if I'm going to have free time to play, it's going to be while everyone else is sleeping. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's going to be the time. So I think that would have a big impact. So get on Twitter, get on Instagram, hashtag raid 5 to 9. Let's get it out there. Let's get the word out. I got 2 Shuppets in my house right now. I gotta shiny check these live real quick.
Goodness.
Listen to this.
That means you have 4 chances.
Yo, look at this cluster I have right now. Check this out. Spinarak, Wurmple, Sentret, Tauros, 2 Shuppets, and a Trico in my house right now.
I caught them all already.
You did?
Yeah, they were not shiny.
So just kidding.
All right, I am. The first Shuppet is not shiny, and the second Shuppet is not shiny. So I did catch a shiny Murkrow.
Oh, I'm so angered about that.
Which is awesome.
I'm so angered because I was out with him all freaking day.
Yeah, we got home. I'm like, I'm going to walk the dog. I was like, let me take the dog for a walk down to the park.
Nah, I'm good. You go. He's gone for 10 minutes.
I'm telling you, no, it's because I hate Murkrow so much. I went off the internet rails like 2 weeks ago talking about how much I hate freaking Murkrow. So I am so pleased that I now have a shiny Murkrow, because not that I'm not going to catch another Murkrow when I see the next one. I'm definitely going to engage it and catch it. But I was very happy when I got that.
I like his color.
His color is awesome. He looks totally awesome. All right, let's get into this battle party.
Oh my God, that was...
Was that perfect?
It was perfect.
It was off. It was off. It's all right. All right, now I want to talk about rainy weather Pokemon.
Ooh.
We've been focusing our battle parties on specific raid bosses, Snorlax, the legendaries, Latios, and blah, blah, blah. Let's talk about something that's a little bit more diverse. Let's talk about a weather condition. Let's talk about rainy Pokemon.
Singing in the rain.
So, water, electric, bug. These are going to be the 3 types that are going to benefit here. Water has always been a prominent typing in Pokemon, and especially in the Pokemon Go meta. Vaporeon was killer in the beginning. Gyarados was killer. Now we have Kyogre. Electric has kind of been developed over time. It wasn't really until we had Raikou that electric Pokemon had some relevance in terms of being real good attackers. And then with Bug, we still really haven't had Bug's moment yet in the meta. But we're going to talk about each of these 3 types and some of the unique Pokemon that you could bring out that are going to benefit from, if you can get a nice stab bonus in addition to the weather bonus, they might have a little bit more relevance, and you could bring them out. Gym battling is probably the best time to experiment with this, typing bonuses. But let's talk about water. Kyogre, Gyarados, Vaporeon, of course. Those are going to be the big 3. Everyone has Vaporeon. Most people have Gyarados. Most people are getting their first Gyarados thanks to the Kanto event and the Mew quest. So that's still a thing. And then we have Kyogre. So these 3 are pretty much everyone's go-to water Pokemon, but I like these 3 alternates. Suicune, Lapras with water moves, and Cloyster with water moves.
Cloyster.
So I know Adam has 100% Cloyster and has high defense. It's kind of spec'd for defense, but this might be an opportunity to give Cloyster an offensive edge if you're putting on some water moves, because you could have stab bonus plus weather bonus. Electric Pokemon, like I said before, Raikou. That's pretty much the electric meta all wrapped into one Pokemon, but Zapdos is also up there too. Alternates can be Jolteon. I have Ampharos on the list simply because we just had Mareep Community Day. Everyone has a lot of Ampharos and a lot of candy, so if you have a good Ampharos, this will be the time to use it. And also Magneton I put on the list as well. Again, prepping for that Magnezone come Gen 4. Now, Bug. This is the one that I just never use Bug Pokemon ever. And the best Bug Pokemon in the game is Heracross, which is going to be only in a limited number of Pokedexes because it's a regional. But Scizor, Pinsir, and Armaldo are in this list as well. I might just use Armaldo just because it looks so derpy. But Scyther, Fortress, and Masquerain are also good alternates for Bug. So, not your typical spread of Pokemon that we would normally see in, a lineup that's going up against a specific Pokemon with a specific attack. But this is what I'm going to bring. I've kind of spread it out a little bit and, got a little bit different against my best interests of just being DPS driven. I put some diversity here. So, I have 100% Kyogre that has Waterfall and Hydro Pump, but I also have a 93% Kyogre that has Waterfall and Thunder. So this is a cool opportunity to get Stab on the Waterfall and Weather bonus on Waterfall, and then still be able to use Thunder and get the Weather boost on that. So if you've got a different spec'd out Kyogre, this is a good opportunity to do that. And Adam, I know you have one of this spec out too. with Waterfall Thunder.
Waterfall Thunder, yeah.
I have a 93% Vaporeon, good old water gun Hydro Pump. Bringing that just because that's like one of my old go-to Pokemon from back in the day, so I'm going to give it a little love here. I have a 96% Raikou with Volt Switch Wild Charge, pretty much the go-to electric Pokemon across the board. And even though my 100% Ampharos has the Dragon Pulse, exclusive move, I'm still bringing it just because I caught 100% Ampharos. So 100% Ampharos with Charge Beam, Dragon Pulse. And then this is where I went a little bit different. I never play bug Pokemon. I never bring bug Pokemon. But I have a Scizor and a Pinsir that I'll bring. Fury Cutter, X-Scissor, and Bug Bite, X-Scissor. So Kyogre, Vaporeon, Raikou, Ampharos, Scizor, Pinsir. What a motley crew of Pokemon. But that's who I'm going to be bringing because why the hell not? Because I'm playing in the rain anyway.
Well, mine aren't much better.
Look at Adam's freaking lineup.
I like Adam's list.
So I have my 100% maxed out Vaporeon, Love Disc, and that just because I need a reason to use it. My 100% Beedrill and Ariados.
So, all right, all four of these Pokemon so far are 100%. So it's 100% Vaporeon, 100% Love Disc, 100% Beedrill, 100% Ariados.
And then here's where things take a turn. Hold on to your hats, folks. Lantern. My 95% Lantern.
So your only one Pokemon, Lantern, is not perfect. But I was saying when you were typing this out in the doc, I was like, all right, so your team is here for emotional support. Because Love Disc ain't putting out shit for DPS.
I know. No,
look
and then
how cute
and then,
it is.
And it's 100.
With the talk of, my 100% Cloyster, like, I guess I should probably throw that in there too and try to do the move changes and see how that works. Because normally I just leave it in gyms for defense.
Yeah, but you see, Melissa is sitting on something like 17 charge TMs and 13 whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, you have so many TMs. If I had that many, I would do stuff like that where I would take my normal Pokemon, like my Dragon, Spec'd out Dragon, Dragonite, and maybe play with the moves a little bit or something like that. So yeah, if I had the TMs to burn, I would definitely switch it up.
Yeah, I think I have 4 of each right now.
Nice. And Melissa, what do you got?
I would actually also bring my 100% Ampharos, just because I don't have many 100%
right.
guys, and that's a good opportunity to use it. And I have a good Raikou and a pretty good Feraligatr.
You brought out Feraligatr on a different last week too when we needed water, which was kind of cool too.
Yeah, so. I like it. And Kingdra, because they don't get much love, and Zapdos, because he's good.
Wait, who's going to be your anchor?
And of course my anchor is going to be the anchor of all anchors, Snorlax.
Oh my god.
Why not? I mean, she's my man.
That person in the raid.
I have no good bug Pokemon, so fuck it. We're going to bring Snacks. Lax for days.
So it's like I said, all right, you're going to bring a Pokemon that has absolutely no relevance or reason to be out in the rain.
Just because I love him, and he's my boy. I guess
that's as good enough a reason.
Exactly. And that's why I play Pokemon.
Oh, man. So that's, so we got some, I love Adam's parties always.
I know.
You always have such good, fun things. I would love to see a Beedrill in a battle. That'd be so fun.
Listen, it's in a gym right now, so I can't even look at its attacks.
Maybe I'll get...
Another reason why changing the name would help you. So I can tell you guys what the attacks were. I don't know, but it's the best to defend with.
So my Mewtwo is next Sunday, so I'll be able to talk about Mewtwo the next time we record. I am going to be trying the 3-man challenge for Mewtwo. So we're going to try to 3-man it at first. We got 3 level 40s that are in. So I'll keep you posted on that if we can actually get that off. I think we'll be okay.
Oh my god,
I think
you're
we'll be okay.
Freaking insane.
The internet wants to know how awful my my Mewtwo was.
Oh yeah. Yes, let's hear.
22-15.
So what's that equate to?
It's like strong, I think attack or HP, and then it's like it could use some work.
So like 6,
low
70s.
Yeah, I'm just like, great. This is the second one in a row. Come on.
Yeah, this will be Mewtwo number 5. I can't believe it.
Really?
I know. I can't believe it. It's so crazy.
Ew.
just a couple weeks ago.
I wonder how many Mewtwo Jersey J has.
I think he's got
we
7.
We need to ask.
He said he got passes in 5 of the past 6 weeks. He said to me.
Wow.
So he's been cranking them out.
I'm going on number 2. This will be my second.
Yeah. See, you talked all that shit in the beginning because you got it first.
But I was okay with that because I wasn't trying to bust my ass trying to get the fucking EX pass when that shit wasn't working. I waited till you guys got that ironed out for me, and then I went, and now I'm getting my second one.
Touche.
Yeah. No, and it's like now that I know that Tor Fountain is a EX raid spot, like
just gotta spam.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna use more raid passes to there than any place else.
Oh, man.
Exactly. Work that system. Work it.
If you're consistent, you will consistently win. Or in this case, get an EX raid pass.
Yes. All right, so that's pretty much going to wrap up the show. Adam, you got anything else?
Nah.
Melissa, you want to yell at anyone real quick?
No, but I will do more research on this fucking spoofer guy. I'll watch some of his videos, so maybe maybe I can rant about it.
Tune in next week to hear Melissa fly off the rails about Jono Plays.
If you guys know anybody else out there who may push my button.
I'm going to show her FSU when we get off here, I'm sure.
Oh no, don't do that.
He's the king spoofer of all spoofers. Oh, and I love it. I love the beef that everything is going on Twitter. It's as terrible as it is. It's just fun to sit back and eat popcorn and just watch it.
This is why I'm not on Twitter. Don't put me on Twitter.
Oh, man.
Right? Where are you going to find me? Not on Twitter, friends.
All right, everyone. Check out GottaWatchTheMall.com for everything we do. Email us, info@luredup.com. Luredup.com is coming soon, by the way. That should be up in about a week or 2. I'll let everyone know when it does. Please leave us a review in iTunes. We would greatly appreciate it. And again, check out our Patreon, patreon.com/GottaWatchTheMall. I'm Proud Gamer Tweet on Twitter. Adam, where are you? Where are you? Who are you?
I'm at Phoenix Back for Fire.
And Melissa's at melissa8ontwitter.com. #.net. Org.
#SpoofNation.
Ghost.
# can't see me. But that's going to wrap it up. Thanks so much for checking us out. We'll see everyone next week. Have fun. It's Earth Day. If you didn't do anything for Earth Day,
recycle something.
Go recycle something, damn it.